Hey everybody, we are here with is it McColm or
Yeah.
okay. Everybody, we are here with Wendy McColm, writer director of this new film. It's coming out next week on VOD called Fuzzy Head. Wendy, how are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm well. I'm well. First off, I have to say that loved the movie. Um, and we'll get into some of the influence and stuff like that, but you really captured a weird nightmare, dreamlike state that I was impressed. So, but can you? I know this is an odd question, particularly for this film, but can you kind of tell us what Fuzzy Head is about?
Yeah. The simple what it's about is it's a girl that goes on the run after the murder of her mother, and she has to go through her everlasting void to find out the truth of what happened.
Excellent. And so this, however, is not a straightforward. It starts off, yes, with a straightforward thread, but we can we talk about the character of Marla? And
Yeah.
she's not the most reliable narrator, is she?
Yeah, I love that aspect. She's just not a reliable narrator, so it really gives that thrill to the movie. Her underlying issue being PTSD, and thinking, is she crazy? Is she not? And having her true experience be the experience that the audience goes through as well.
Mhm. There's you captured that. It almost seems effortlessly that you captured that feeling uh, of not being sure, like where reality is. Even because certain characters are behaving one way and then suddenly snap and behave another way. Um,
Yeah,
but she remains consistent in her behavior. So
amazing,
was that
amazing.
was that something intentional?
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
talk about that. I
Where
mean,
she's the protagonist, so
right.
it's like we're following her. We have to, as a director, you have to have compassion for your main character. That's like number one, right? So it's like, even if I am like, oh God, like, I don't know about this. What for Marla, like, what the hell is she doing? But I have to be compassionate. So that keeps her consistent, I believe. Like, I was very clear on how the other characters react to her and how she stays the same. She's on her journey to figure it out. Um, she's very much affects the other people, but her POV is like gaslighting and wondering if everything is real, or being comfortable and feeling that it is real. So it's like, yeah, it's basically an experience I lived in my life for 7 years. So it's pretty easy to do.
Wow. So this was a pretty autobiographical story then?
Yeah.
How close is
PTSD
it?
for 7 years.
Oh God, I'm so sorry. That's like the worst. Ugh.
It is just the worst. It's fucking
Fuzzy
horrible.
head, the worst.
It's just the worst. So to have a movie kind of show that, and like, you know, have a journey with it. So it's like, I don't know, make it worth it.
Yeah, I suppose, but what's the well, why? Why go through it?
Oh, why go through what?
Why take that journey? Why did you decide to?
Oh, because I couldn't heal. I was like, I could not heal. I mean, the 7 years, I mean, it just kept going. And I think I woke up one day and I was like, oh, it's been 7 years. Like, the time had just like stopped. Like, I probably could have got stuck there forever.
Mhm. Can
So it's
can
like,
you can you tell me what happened? Is it too personal? What's going on?
just, I mean, if people want to know, but it was all, just from a very abusive relationship with somebody. And they completely attacked my whole being and character. And it really derailed my whole life to the point where, like, yeah, I just was alone. I was completely alone.
Mhm.
And yeah, back then they weren't doing TikToks about gaslighting and narcissism, and all that stuff. They weren't doing that. So people were like, what's wrong with you?
Mhm.
You know, but, and just abandoning. And then I think that's where it took me to make a movie, because I think halfway through the journey, the mother wound was a big thing. You know, I basically went down the rabbit hole. I mean, pure Matrix shit. It's just like I went down the rabbit hole and I was like, how did this happen? You know?
Yeah.
And it's like turned into like, okay, did the dad thing, I didn't want to tell a story about a dad. I thought that was boring. And then the mother wound came up for me about 4 or 5 years into the PTSD. And then I was like, okay, I really want to tell this story where I'm just combining it all, but telling it. I don't want to tell abusive boyfriend story. I think that's boring. I haven't seen a lot of people talk about the mother wound. Even I didn't even know about it. So I made that this story for Marla, healing the mother wound with her mother.
Mhm. Um, yeah, it's definitely a fascinating aspect, because you kind of transpose that PTSD and turned it into, this healing journey. One thing that I found particularly interesting was the relationship with Marla and Tolliver. Um,
Yeah.
did you have a bestie like that was sort of your anchor?
No.
So let's talk about that relationship with Tolliver. I mean, like, who is this character, and who is this character in relationship to Marla and her journey?
So I believe everyone should have that friend. And that friend is a that is the metaphorical, he's a real in the movie, but it's just I think what I wanted to tell is like people that they deserve that compassion
Hmm.
and friendship, like even in the bad times. And most people won't stick around for that. And that's just too bad. So I wanted to show that in this film. Like that's what you need, that to heal. Actually, you need compassion.
Yeah, and there would be moments where he was not trustworthy,
Mhm.
then suddenly, okay, wait, he's consistent again,
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's because the goggles, I call them shame goggles or the PTSD goggles, makes you believe people are your enemy.
love it. Yeah,
So that's the drive there.
and the Lynch influences were like, that was, heavy David Lynch influence. Um, but let's talk about that. I mean, how much of Lynch's work, kind of seeped into this movie?
People have always told me that. And, my first movie, Birds Without Feathers, that's what they kept saying. And I was like, guys, I have never seen a David Lynch film.
Really? Have you still not?
No, I did after that because I was like, there's no way. Like, how could I be like David Lynch and not ever see a film of his?
Uh-huh.
But after watching a few, is it crazy? God, I don't even know the names of the movies because I'm so unfamiliar with them. The one with Nicolas Cage, The Heart.
Oh yeah, Wild at Heart.
I love that one.
Yeah,
That
that's a
one
good one.
is amazing in every sense. So like I don't even know. It's not like I'm like, yeah, I love Blue Velvet, like, or what's the other ones? I don't know.
Oh
But
God,
oh, Mulholland Drive, yeah. Like
Mulholland Drive's my personal favorite.
okay, so like
Yeah.
I've seen that once, and I feel like yeah, uh, it's kind of funny, and I think it's because we both just live in the subconscious, or like
Well, I think that might be it, because his creative process is very tangential. Um, and perhaps, I mean, what is yours like?
I don't even know that word you said.
It's
I'm like,
just
yes, it's that.
pulling from
That's
different
fine.
places. Like, oh, this leads to, like, for instance, one of the reasons I love Mulholland Drive is the way it all came about. The movie that, if you watch the film, the first half of the film is very different from the second.
It
And
is. That's what I noticed. Yeah.
right. Well, that's because originally it was a pilot for ABC.
Oh,
And he was setting up a lot of different stuff, for a possible follow-up to Twin Peaks. Well, they said, no, we don't want this pilot. So he took it, sat with it for a year, and then built a second and third act for a film. And then he got nominated for Best Director and Best Picture and got a standing
amazing.
ovation at Cannes. So,
Amazing.
he just sat with this and let these thoughts come, and so they just kind of flowed in and out. So, I mean, what is your creative process?
I think it's that. I mean, I do a lot of free writing. I just let it flow. I'm like, make sure in the morning I don't look at the phone. I don't nothing like that until noon, and I make sure I free write. It's just free writing, and I just don't question it at all. And sometimes I don't even revise, but um and then for this, there was a lot of moments happening simultaneously while I was writing the script. There's this huge scene with Fred Melamed, where he's
Amazing, amazing scene, and I love his work. I love his performance. So he's great. But forgive me.
I sincerely like directing him was such a treat. Yeah. It's I cried, I think, behind the camera. I cried behind the camera and I told him I just because I love, I started out as an actor, so it's just kind of like I just love letting people know like that's how I that's how I imagined it. I won't tell someone to do it a certain way, but
Yeah,
like when he did it, he did that scene like way over the justice mark, like just like no one wanted to touch that character. Like I had so many people like not want to touch it. And the fact that he did and he just blew it out of the water like that. Wow, what a treat. So like that scene, for example, I have a tattoo that says feel right here.
mhm.
And in New Orleans, I had cracked another code of why I'm, like I was like some sort of detective, almost like Marla, cracking this code, like why I am the way I am. Like,
Mm,
why is this happening to me? And it was that I just like when bad things would happen to me or like just anything, I would just instead of letting it spiral out of my body, I would go numb. So therefore I wouldn't feel.
mhm.
So then therefore I could never move forward. So it just kept going back inward. And I
Yeah.
would just live this loop until I was like, oh, I need to feel, which sounds so simple, but like, so that whole moment I had, I just started writing and it was
Mhm.
that scene. So that's how these moments came about. Like, these are very pivotal moments in my healing. A lot of it was channeled through Kundalini. Um, I got a lot of those visions of my mother and how to change them in Kundalini practice. They were just visions I got. And I'm a very visual person. So if I can visualize a scene, it's most likely the scene and it will look exactly how the vision told me it should.
Mhm.
And I just have to believe that I'm being driven by a higher force, I guess.
Excellent. No, I think no, it's spot on. I mean, what fascinates me is you didn't know Lynch, but you were tapping into exactly the same thing he was doing, and just diving in and healing, and then producing art. So,
Yeah,
so there you
going
go.
for that, hoping somebody else doesn't have to feel so damn alone. Yeah, and it's really proven itself at screenings, I think. Like it's a very yeah, just visceral experience sharing after seeing what people think.
And it was so funny because I was looking at the cast list, and there's a bunch of people that I know, like Melinda and Galen,
Oh,
and it's just like I love all these people, and they're all so good in it, you know.
ugh, they're
So
amazing.
yeah, Galen in particular steals the scene. The way you put him into the center, I mean, like I was like, forget it. Which is move. Like just move out of the way, let Galen do his thing. But yeah, it was funny. And you screened originally at Slam Dance rather.
Yeah.
How was that for you?
It was incredible. It was a way different experience than Birds Without Feathers. That was a dark comedy, and this is like one of my first like, well, it's not only like, thriller horror, it's like very deep and yeah, just really personal. So I was like very tight-lipped the whole time, but we sold out this both screenings, and people were just so thrilled, and it was an amazing experience to see that because you're just making a movie for 3 years and you're like, I don't know. I don't
And so
know.
then finally here it is, and people like it.
People are
Um,
fucking crying and just sharing their deepest secrets with you. You're just like, yes, open up. Let's go. You went through it. Now you get to express and be full. That's the whole thing. You go through it and you feel it. And then you get to just kind of tear that shit open. It's
yeah,
pretty fun. It's pretty fun.
yeah, it's that's catharsis. That's what it is. So
Amen.
excellent. Well, honestly, I can't wait for everybody else to be able to see this movie when it comes out on
Yeah.
VOD Tuesday. Um,
Tuesday is the day. And yeah, the cast is incredible. Alicia Witt, Rain Phoenix, Numa Perrier, Richard Ryle is a favorite. So
he's such a nice guy, you know.
he's my best friend now.
I love it. He's so funny, you know. Oh my God. Oh, and another thing, Tolliver.
Tolliver, yep.
Like, first of all, I got to tell you a funny story. So I have a friend named Verton, and at first I thought Verton was in the movie. I was like, is that because they look so similar,
It's amazing.
and I was like, is that? And then I had to like stop the movie and look up you know, but I'll send you a picture of Verton because
Okay.
it'd be like, we found the doppelganger, you know.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it's hilarious. But yeah, I had another friend thinking the same thing. I was like, no, 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 no. And so Tolliver keeps popping up in other ways for this other friend, and he keeps thinking it's for Tom.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, we got to get these two together. So
Yeah, do like a different horror film, like
I
just like
know.
twinning. I love that kind of shit.
Winning. That's
It's called twinning. It's like horror comedy.
excellent. Well, everyone, first of all, thank you, thank you for taking the time to chat about the film, and thank you for creating something that was worth watching.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I hope everybody sees it. It'll be streaming everywhere, and share the trailer. If you guys, that's the thing. It's like if people share the trailer, if people share anything at all, that's how these movies get seen. And we keep creating that way. And then also, yeah, if you share the trailer, you get a free poster. We get to sign it for you. So we'll mail it to you.
so there you go. What is this an offer for everyone or just me?
Yes, this is my PR. I spent all my money on movies, so help me out, man.
Oh my
I'm kidding. I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding.
Kidding, not
Anyway,
kidding.
we could go into like a whole filmmaker thing about what I did to make this movie. Oh my
Oh
god,
my God. Yeah,
it's crazy.
indie filmmaking is a passion. So,
Oh yeah, and it's my
uh,
life. So thank you for helping support my life. Yeah, this is great.
absolutely. Uh, everyone, Wendy McColm, writer director of Fuzzyhead. Thank you so much for your time and best of luck. I really hope this movie finds its audience.
Woo! Me too. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks, Wendy.
Bye.